Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Pals, Partners, and Productivity. With the host, I'm the co-host actually, but I get to introduce these two ladies and friends once a month when we do this show. I am joined today by Kindra and Leah. How you doing, ladies?
Great. Doing
Hi, how
well.
are you? Lynn?
I'm doing well. Thank you very much. I'm excited about the show today. Excited about meeting your guest. You guys have been hitting some home runs as far as the people that you've brought on. Some people that really have a positive influence and impact on their industry, and that make the difference. And so I'm going to let you introduce her now. I'm going to bring her in, let her join us. And you guys introduce her, and we're going to let her talk a little bit about herself, and we're going to get into some questions on what and how the different things that have made a difference in her life, her career, and how she's paying that back.
That's great. So, welcome, Brenda. This is Brenda Thompson. She is the co-founder, also a speaker, a mentor, and a coach, and a consultant, but the actual co-founder of Home Smart Stars here in Dallas, Texas. So we are thrilled to have her on the radio show today, and Kendra and I work extensively with her in this industry. So thank you, Miss Brenda, for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yes.
And welcome, Brenda. I'm excited to have you on too. Why don't you share a little bit about who you are and who you're with right now, and tell everybody, get everybody familiar with who Brenda Thompson is.
Okay, great. So I have been in the real estate industry for almost 20 years. Not my first industry. I actually was in the medical industry prior to real estate, but I've been in the real estate industry for, like I said, about 20 years. I am a broker. I became a broker almost immediately, but over the years I have grown to a point to where a year ago I purchased a HomeSmart franchise and now have that. Our office is in Plano, which is where I'm at now, but we serve the entire DFW Metroplex. I also do some consulting and speaking under the Red Line Group, so that's a separate company, but my normal every day is working with my agents and making sure that we're taking care of our clients all over the Metroplex. And as it is a super hot market right now, my agents are staying very, very busy, which keeps me very busy too.
That's awesome. I got a little feedback somewhere. Anybody?
Okay.
Is anybody doing a watch party or something like that? You got their audio up?
I am, but I'm not. I have it down. It's low. It's off.
Okay. All right. No problem. Just one of those things we work through occasionally, about once or twice a week. So, Brenda, what led you into the real estate world?
That's funny because I was in other industries, and really a lot of friends had said that I would be great as an agent just because I'm personable and I like to be around people and I love taking care of people. So it's that nurturing factor for me that helps me in dealing with clients, both buyers and sellers. And then now that is what helps me in working with my agents, just making sure that I'm taking good care of them. So it's funny that real estate really was just kind of something that I felt attracted to, and had several random people over the years say that to me. So I decided one Sunday night that I was going to quit my other job and go start classes the next day. So I'm that person that jumps in when I'm ready to do something. I'm all in.
Wow, that quick, huh? That's cool. How many agents do you have that work for you?
Right now I have 50 agents. We, like I said, opened this office right at a year ago. Over the years for other corporations, I've had, over 1,000 agents under me over the years, and worked with probably over 100 offices in building their offices from the ground up, working for business planning and marketing, and just getting them to a place of being productive and being, of course, profitable. Everyone wants to be profitable at some point too.
Yeah, that's kind of important, isn't it?
Yes.
It is.
Kendra and Leah, y'all jump in here anytime. I got a million questions I can ask, but I don't want to take up all the time. I want you two to get involved as well. So let me see one of the things that, I've always said, and that's one reason we created The Difference, is because I feel like everybody has a story. And I feel like that our stories at some point and at some times can inspire others to greatness. And I always felt like the most important story was to talk about the people and the times and the places and events that made the difference in our life. And so what I would like for you, if you will, is share with us a little bit about how real estate has made a difference for you and the things that you're doing. Obviously, opening a brokerage that employs 50 agents, that's making a difference. It really is. And so you should be really applauded for that. But other than that, tell what is it about real estate that really gets to your heart that you feel like you're able to make a difference?
It is the ability to help others. So when I still work with buyers and sellers. So with buyers and sellers, it really is, and I know this sounds a little cheesy, but it really is helping people find the American dream. Home ownership is something that people strive to. It's a huge goal for individuals. So helping them get there from a buyer aspect, from a seller aspect, it's being able to help someone in one of the biggest transactions of their life and being able to get that property sold. And having the knowledge and the expertise to be able to know where to market it and what we need to do and pricing and then just all the steps. I really feel that our process as realtors is the contract to close process. So it's negotiating the contract for the benefit of our client all the way through to getting that contract successfully to closing. So my personal love is being able to have an impact on those individuals and help them with something that is huge in their life. As I work with my agents, it's very similar. So it's my agents who are helping our clients and just being there for my agents as they have contract questions, as they need help, as they need guidance. It feeds my nurturing soul to be able to help people. So that's what I really love about the industry. It's what I love about building our partnerships with people who are like-minded and always keep the client or always keep the agent, always keep people at the forefront so that we're all acting as a team to be able to help create successful transactions. And that's
Wow,
where Leah and Kindra come in too.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what I love about having them as part of the difference, because I know that's they have a servant's heart as well, and helping others is very important to them. Kendra, Leah, you have any additions or questions for her?
So Lyndon, I, like Brenda, kind of fell into real estate. But I have only been in it little less than 7 years, around 7 years. I changed careers. I was a stay-at-home mom, fortunate enough, for about 15 years. Then an assistant PE teacher for my kids' grade school for 5, and realized I needed the opportunity to do a little bit better in my career, but also more flexibility. And I got into real estate, and I have been in one form or fashion over the last 7 years, and I fell in love. It's a career. It is my career now. It is something that I have a passion for. I love, like Brenda said, used to love helping the buyers and sellers. However, now on the title side, I really enjoy working with my realtors and my lenders. I love helping them and assisting them in whatever tools they need to win the deal and to think outside the box. Yes, I want them to send me their contracts. Yes, if you are out there listening and you are a realtor and you don't have a good title company, send your executed contract over to me, please, because I can promise you we'll take care of you. But the issue is that I truly enjoy what I do. It's like you realize you found a career when your brain never stops thinking of the sale, and your brain never stops, and you don't turn it off. And you just see it consistently through the day and through the weekend and in the evening, and your brain just always thinks real estate. I've just really was lucky enough, and I've met a lot of incredible people, and met some interesting people too, and made some mistakes, but been lucky enough to meet some incredible people like Brenda and I. know each other through my mother and through a volunteer organization, Junior League of Collin County. Used to be called Junior League of Plano. They got smart because half of us lived in Frisco or other cities, and they changed the name. But that's how we met. And she knows my mother well, and they volunteered a lot together. And so it's kind of like that 6 degrees of separation. The like minds kind of are attracted to different things in volunteering and also in the work world. So that's where I'm kind of been very fortunate.
That's awesome. Leah, what about you?
Sure. I love that, Kindra. You brought all that up. So I just want people just to know more about, if you don't mind, Brenda, about HomeSmart. I know when I was on the West Coast with a huge home warranty company, HomeSmart was a big client of ours. And Brenda has brought an amazing West Coast company to Texas. And so if you can just go into that a little bit for those agents that don't know about HomeSmart, if you're on the West Coast, you know exactly who HomeSmart is. So
thank you for that, Leah. You're right. HomeSmart is one of the largest brokerages in the country, and the bulk of the presence is in Arizona and California. So yes, anyone on the West Coast knows the name, which has been fun for me because as we all know, a lot of people from the West Coast are moving to Texas. And so I will have agents frequently call me and say, "Oh my gosh, I didn't know HomeSmart was here. Can we talk?" The reason why I chose HomeSmart to purchase the franchise was because of the technology, because of the advancements that we can offer not only to our agents, but to our clients. The technology for the agent to be able to do great marketing. We have fantastic marketing tools for properties. So when we're listing properties for sellers, we've got great ways to market that property in ways that other companies simply have not done. The same for buyers. We've got great ways to keep up with buyers, how-to guides, informational guides, just about anything that they need as they are going through the purchase process with a HomeSmart agent. So I tend to like to be the first to do something. As I mentioned, I'm kind of jump all in. I like building a brand. I've done that in the past. I've built other businesses in the past. So for me, it was actually attractive that HomeSmart was not yet in North Texas and that I could be the first to bring the brand to North Texas. So like I said, there's a huge presence on the West Coast, but we have 190 offices across the country, about 19,000 agents. And in many of our states, we are the number one either in city or in state for volume of transactions. So meaning that we actually get more properties to closing than many other brands in many of the areas that we're in. So that was exciting to me to be able to bring such a successful 20-year-old brand to North Texas and to just be the first to be able to tout the wonders of HomeSmart and to introduce it to agents, everything that they can have from their brokerage. And of course they get me, which I think is a bonus too, but to be able to have the tools that they need to really be able to help more buyers and sellers with their processes too.
Well, I'm glad you got to talk about that. Yeah, because a lot of people, like she said, when they move from the West Coast, they are so excited to see that there's a HomeSmart franchise here. And there are so many people moving here from the West Coast daily. So I'm just excited for Brenda and her whole group. And those marketing materials she's talking about, there are lots of brokerages here in North Texas that don't have marketing materials like that. I was blown away when Brenda showed me that stuff. So I'm glad that you're getting that out there and people are starting to see it. And Brenda, you're quite fantastic. And I don't know if y'all know this, but you're welcome. She sits on the board of directors at Metro Tex. So Brenda is very heavily involved with the realtor community with the board here in Dallas. So I don't know if you want to talk about that or.
Sure. And it's that servant heart. It is, having been in the industry for a long time, feeling like I have really gained a lot from the industry, having been in real estate. It's been a fantastic career for me. And then, so it's the giving back. So I serve on several local committees at the local association level. I also serve on a few state level committees. And I feel like those help me in seeing what's happening across the state of Texas so that I can help agents protect them from accidental things that they might get into, but then also to better help and better serve our buyers and sellers. So the state level, and then the local level, like Leah said, I do serve on the board of directors for MetroTex. So it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of time. It is a big commitment, but it's what's best for all of our agents and all of our clients across the Metroplex too.
Brenda, you obviously have an entrepreneurial spirit, and
Yes.
that's something that I just I love that in people, because I think that that's really what creates the change and creates the opportunities for businesses to grow, for new businesses to be invented. Being on the board and being in real estate as long as you have, and starting your own company, was there a time, or is there a time where you see some things that you're like, you know what, that's okay, but I can do it better, or that's okay, but we can do it better? Are there some specific things that you can talk about now on how you're trying to make the difference in the industry, in not just your career and not just your business, but in the industry? And you know, I say that because with 50 agents, you've got to be a leader and you've got to be a helper. And you already said that, you know, you want to make the difference in their lives. But what about in the industry as a whole? One of the things that you said that really grabbed my attention is that you wanted to give back. And so when you're a forward-thinking person and you look at the industry and you go, hey, we can be better. We can fix some of the things, some of the misconceptions, maybe some of the myths about, you know, some of the things that people may not understand. They may have a different concept of what a real estate agent is or does. Can you talk a little bit about that, about a passion you may have to make an impact?
Yes, and it really goes to what our political action committee within real estate does at the state level. So our PAC is is the largest in the state of Texas. And once a year, the realtors, and I know that consumers don't know this, but once a year, the realtors actually go to the Capitol, and we spend a day there meeting with our representatives, and they actually do listen to us because we are the largest PAC in the state of Texas. And what we do is a give back to all of our clients. We are campaigning for things that are homeowner friendly, that are small business friendly, that help to keep our property taxes down, that help to keep us from having a sales tax on the transfer of property, which a lot of states have. Mm-hmm. We don't, and we're able to take that benefit from not having the sales tax when we transfer property. But a lot of states have that. And it's the realtors who are constantly trying to make sure that we stay in front of our representatives and that they know what we need to do for homeowners and that we are protecting homeowners' rights. So that, you know, I would say that's the biggest difference that I feel we're making as a whole group as realtors. And it's just something that I'm passionate about. I mean, most of us are homeowners or strive to be homeowners. It's a goal. And so, you know, us being able to take care of that and make sure that we can keep those costs where it's reasonable for a homeowner to be able to be in their property and to not have those sales tax transfer taxes is something that we can do as a give back too.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. And you know, you're the first. We've had a lot of real estate agents at different times on the difference, and you're the first person that's explained that in that way. And I think that is critical for the consumer to understand that you're not just someone out there that's going to help in a real estate transaction and they get paid a commission. I think that it's very important that we as home buyers, as the consumer and the client, we understand that the real estate industry is fighting to make things more affordable, mm-hmm. and looking out for an interest for us that we may not even realize could be a problem. Can you tell me a little? I mean, we got 10 minutes left, and there's another. I want to go to a different segment, but can you tell me a little bit about why you think that's not discussed more openly, more publicly, and more frequently?
That's a great question. And it's funny because with the groups that I'm involved in, we do talk about it quite a bit within our groups, but that's not out to the consumer.
Right.
So it's something that it's something that we need to be better about sharing with the public and talking about what we do. So we've got some campaigns that come from our local and state associations, but we just need to get more out there talking about it and telling people about it.
Right.
I think part of
yeah.
it, go ahead, Leah. Leah, I think she had something you were going to say.
Oh, I was just going to say, realtors just have to get out there and door knock. I mean, I've got my active license, and anytime there's a campaign and there's somebody running that's going to be proactive for the realtor community, we get out and we door knock, Lyndon. And even as a vendor, since I've got an active license, I get out there with those realtors and I door knock with them and those brokers, and we listen to those people running for office. They come in and speak to us before we get out there and talk to those homeowners. So the homeowners are always surprised when they have realtors come and knock on their doors, because they had no idea that the realtor's fighting for them, for like what Brenda said, to keep those property taxes down. I mean, I could go on and on about all the different things that are up for voting on.
And
so,
I think that that's huge. And you know, and people have heard me talk about this before, and I've done several coaching and training classes for real estate agents. And when the discount brokers came in, the I'm not going to name them because I don't want to offend anyone. I don't have a problem with them, but I do know that a few of them, unfortunately, have tried to paint a bad picture for the real estate agent themselves, and their marketing campaign was to diminish the value of the real estate agent. I don't think that's good for the industry. I don't think that's good for the industry at all. I think every agent has value. But I do think that one of the mistakes is that we, as the homeowner, as the buyer, as the seller, don't see all of the things that you guys do that the spotlight is not necessarily on all the time. And I think that we've been influenced and conditioned to think we're just a number. We're just another sale. We're just another notch. And it excites me because I've told people this ever since I was a young kid. I thought real estate agents I wanted to be one. I always wanted to be one my whole life. I ended up going into mortgage and credit repair. But I just have always admired the real estate agent. And to learn, of course, I've known this, but to learn all the things that you guys do that ends up being the benefit to the homeowner, buyer and seller. I would hope that is publicized more. Even I think door knocking is incredible because I love the grassroots effort. I love the face-to-face, the handshake. We can't shake hands now, but the 6 feet distancing at the door and everything like that. That's really cool. But I do think that social media is an opportunity to share those things and reach so many people and reinstill some confidence that I think some of those discount brokers kind of intentionally put out there. What are your thoughts on that? And then we're going to go to a love fest. Go ahead, Kindra.
This is an interesting side note to this, is that the discount brokers and the ones that are trying to do all the e-buyer and the online, those are the ones that went away the fastest during COVID. They went bye-bye. They were gone. They didn't even, it was like they're non-existent. They're not buying, they're not selling, they're not doing anything. They almost like closed up shop and hibernated for a while. So if you take a look at that right there tells you one big thing. They're not there to help the consumer. They're not there to help the general public. Yes, we're all in our careers to make money and to live and to survive. But for a shop to literally just close up, bye, see ya. And that means they're not really there to support the consumer. The people that are still there and have been there this whole time have been the real estate agents, working with the brokers, working to figure out how to get their people that want to buy and sell the properties they need. It's been the lenders that have been there this whole time, working their tails off, and the title companies who we have not gone away. We work harder than we have. Yes.
And the home warranty.
And the home warranty.
You know, and I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. But here's the issue with that.
I think it's just us getting the word out. But we don't tend to really badmouth others so much. That's also because real estate agents tend to have this idea about them that, oh, you make so much money, and you don't. You don't. You don't make a penny until to close the deal, and you have fees out the, to have to pay monthly, quarterly, yearly. And if you're good at what you do, you treat it like it's your business and you're self-employed. And that's who you want. You want someone like
Absolutely.
Brenda and her team that to be on your side to help you with your transaction, and then us to close the deal because we know what we're doing and we're going to get it done. So
And I agree with that. I agree with that. And I do see where, through the COVID thing, a lot of those discount brokers have pulled back. But here's the thing, and this was the point that I was trying to make, is they were running campaigns to devalue the agent.
Oh, absolutely.
And and I don't feel like that the opportunity, I don't feel like that there was a rebuttal, a strong enough rebuttal. And the thing is that he who holds the message controls the result, right? And so they were going to the places where the consumer was listening. They were going to social media. I don't know if did y'all ever see the advertisement where the person, it's a commercial, it comes on and goes, we're going to show you 4 things that are obsolete. And they showed an old corded phone with a rotary dial. They showed a fax machine. They showed something else. I can't remember what it was. And then they showed a real estate agent. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that was Open Door. Now, that ran on television for a while, and it just infuriated me. It infuriated me because people don't understand what an agent does. It's not just getting in a car and going and showing a house. It's not just writing a contract. And so it's important to battle the negative comments about the real estate agent and industry with all the good things y'all do. And I just, I would hope that we would pay attention to that, because I think that's what the consumer wants to hear. That's so comforting to know that people that I've not met yet are in Austin fighting for me. I think that's amazing.
That's a great point you make, Lyndon. And so to Kendra's point, those companies were the first to close their doors during COVID. They're not doing that now, and yet realtors and home warranty and mortgage and title, we were all still making it happen during COVID. So it is a good point to be made, and I like to think that many of us take the high road. So I try not to speak negatively of others, but then sometimes that means you're not speaking high enough about what you do and what service and value you're bringing. And so I take that as a great point for me to remember, that we need to be touting what we do more and touting the good things. It's not about money. It's about the good things that we're doing for our communities.
Right.
Well, people thought it was white noise. Realtors thought it was white noise, and it wasn't white noise. It was real, and it was really happening. But I'm glad that the COVID, if anything came out of, Jake likes to call it cocoa. If anything came out of cocoa, it was stuff like what Kindra said earlier, what you were just talking about, Brenda. They were out of business. So, and I hope that the consumer sees that, but that has to be from the realtor community, preaching that. Look what happened to those people during COVID-19. They were obsolete. They closed their doors. Meanwhile, people like Kindra and myself, we're vendors trying to call on, brokerages like yours, Brenda, trying to give your realtors the tools to help them with marketing, to help, back them so they can continue to run a successful real estate business. So Kindra and I hope I can say this, Kindra, I'm not for Open Door or Zillow or what was the other ones that were out there, Trulia listings or there's so many of them. We want to help the realtor community. We're here for you guys. So we're honored that we get to do so.
We all have to stick together. together. And if you've ever bought or sold a home, you know that a good realtor is invaluable. They really are. They're worth every penny when they do it right. So, ladies, we are just about out of time, but before we go, and we've got to make this quick, I do want to give each one of you a chance to show some love to each one of you about what it's like to work with each other, what the experience is like, and why others should give you guys a shot. Brenda, I'm going to let you go first. We're going to go to Kindra, and Leah, you're going to finish this up.
Thank you for that, Lyndon. It is wonderful to work with people who bring the same level of professionalism, of class, of trust, and of a giving servant heart. It's amazing to be able to work with those people and build them as your team, so that I know if I'm treating my client as almost like my little baby. My agents tease me that I'm a mama bear, but if I'm treating that person like my little baby that I want taken care of, I want them to be taken care of by the other people involved in the transaction too. So, I mean, I love working with Leah and I love working with Kindra. Beautiful spirits, beautiful people, and top of their game, and always putting the client first. So it's a win for anyone that they work with too.
Thanks, Brenda.
Thank
And
you.
pretty much ditto what Brenda said. It's almost, it helps you get through your day and helps the low points when you're working with people that either know you're going through something or know that you need to be brought up, or you can reach out just to call about this or that and to deal with professional or work or not, and they build you up and they get you back to where you need to be. It's amazing that I've been fortunate enough to be able to align myself with women that are professional, like Leah and Brenda, that have a servant heart and that really love what they're doing and love to help their coworkers. Because I'm that way as well. I love my office. I love the title industry. I love the real estate industry, and to find other individuals that are in the same boat, it's a good place to be. I feel very, very fortunate. And I also try to align myself with people that I am happy to refer and thrilled to refer to other people when they ask for someone. And these are two that I do. And so that's the other thing, is I'd like to really align myself with people that I'm going to refer in a heartbeat.
Thank you, Kindra. Well, I am just elated that I get to work with Brenda Thompson and Kindra Brookstrom, because they are both overtly bright ladies and they do have amazing energy. And I love that they're so serious about their careers. I always like to hang out with like-minded individuals, and these ladies just, they bring it up a notch for me. And like Brenda said, it's, just the class of working with somebody like that, the kindness that they elude. I just love it. So I love how Brenda is such an amazing broker. She always is there for her people. I know there's a lot of brokers across the United States that I've met through my years in home warranty industry, working on both coasts. And I'm going to be honest with you, Brenda is one of a kind. And when they say you are smart, you are kind, and you are important, that is Brenda Thompson. She is all three of those things. And so thank you, Brenda. And then yes. And then with Kindra is just, she is the best to work around as well. Kindra, when I'm having, well, Brenda's the same way for me. If I've had a rough day and I need to vent a little bit, Kindra will calm me down. Take a breath, Leah. So that's always nice to have. And everybody just loves Kindra. She has such a huge following of people. So I'm just honored to be in the same room with these ladies. So I recommend Kindra with Fidelity National Title. If you guys are looking for a new title company to close with, or top notch, Fidelity National Title is the #1 title company in the United States. They are in every single state. They own numerous title companies. So you guys check in with Kindra. She can tell you about that. And of course, Brenda Thompson with HomeSmart. As she said earlier, HomeSmart is massive on the West Coast. How many states are you guys in now?
35.
At 35, that's pretty strong.
Wow.
Yeah. So we just thank you, Lyndon, for having us on. And Lyndon, you're amazing. We love to show the difference. It is the difference. So thank you, sir.
Well,
and
thank you all
Leah didn't
we got to wrap it. We got to wrap it up. But Leah, thank you for the kind words. Thank you and Kindra both for doing your show called Pals, which you are, Partners in Productivity. That's the things that make the difference, right? It's the close relationships. And Brenda, a pleasure meeting you. Thank you so much for what you do, not only for your brokerage, but for the industry itself. Because that is, I believe that the leadership approach that that you have and that others take is what's going to make the difference over time. And so with that being said, we're going to close out, and we'll see you guys again next month on Pals, Partners, and Productivity.
Yeah.